Welcome. Today we are reviewing and discussing the Visconti Homo Sapiens. Not just one, but two. All right, so Visconti is a luxury pen company that was started in 1988, and since then they have grown, and now they make over 50,000 pens a year. They are luxury, but they do have kind of entry-level, offerings nowadays. However, these are not those. These are the Homo Sapiens. Let's go into it. So this pen was a limited edition, and you can actually see it. Where is it? Right there. This is 292 of 888. So this is a limited edition, and then it's got a clear ink window here. Unscrew the piston mechanism. So this is a piston filler. So you pop that open, and then you can pull that back like that. You push it forward, and that creates the vacuum to suck up the ink here. So this one has a palladium nib. They don't do the palladium nibs anymore, but I really enjoy the palladium nibs. This one is an extra fine, and it writes extremely smooth, especially for an extra fine. One of the best things about these caps is their quarter twist on. There's like this really cool engraved pattern here in the material, and it just like clicks off, and it's springy too. Almost like the Platinum 3776, you get that spring tension that helps seal it. So you get a springy bouncy factor, and then it's like just a super quick on off. So that's awesome. Now with this one, I did notice it was a little bit more difficult to thread, so I always play it safe by counter threading until you find it. There it goes. Now this one's very, very well known. This is the Bronze Age Homo Sapiens, and this has a lava resin. So the resin itself was composed using components from actual basaltic lava from the local area. So this gives it a porous feel, which is kind of tactile and nice, and it's just really cool. It feels really good in the hand. So I've got kind of a love-hate relationship with the clip. I love the look of it, and I love the spring factor here. However, it doesn't actually ride up onto your fabric well. So what I find I have to do is kind of pinch it and raise it as I'm inserting it in my pants. So it doesn't pocket as well as, like a Leonardo with that awesome little ball. That thing goes in and out easy. But it is really, kind of nice that it has that springiness to it. So kind of a love-hate relationship with the clip, but it definitely makes a fashion statement. And people who know when they see that clip. So some other things with the Homo Sapiens, you see we've got these two bands on the cap, along with that center band. And then you've got that little accent band at the back there. Now this one also has a palladium nib. When I liked this one enough that I was able to find one with a palladium nib, I went ahead and got that. So this is a palladium medium Visconti here. This one you can really see those cap grooves better to help illustrate just how it kind of clicks in on the inside there. So it just goes boop in a little quick turn. So I really dig this pen, guys. It's a piston filler, so I wouldn't use shimmer in it, so I'm just using shaders, maybe with some sheen, but otherwise I really like this. This is my daily writer now when I go into work, especially being a medium. I don't have to worry if it's on cruddy office paper, and I personally really like the palladium nibs too. Not 100% on all the reasons they went out of style, but let's check out the top of the cap too. It's got Visconti, their emblem there. Another very nice touch. All right, so let's get into some pros and cons. One of the pros is the looks of the design. These are luxury pens, and they look the part, right? Even if you're going for the understated black and gold here with the Bronze Age, these things are gorgeous. They definitely look the part. They are a luxury brand. You even see that all the way to the nib with their engravings there. So they are awesome in looks and design. Speaking of the nibs are really nice. Now, I did put as a con QC. I didn't experience any issues, but I've heard, dreaded tales online where people had issues, and so I've heard it's kind of a hit or miss thing. So all that means is if you buy one from a trusted source, make sure it's under warranty and use it when you get it, and then, you should have no issues. But the nibs themselves are beautiful, and both of mine that I have and I've tested now have been excellent. I do love these palladium nibs. I wish they'd kind of bring those back. I don't know why they went away, but I do really like the palladium nibs too. All right, let's go on to the next thing. That was the nibs, the lava. So this, the Bronze Age one that's made out of a basaltic lava is super cool. It's super cool to say I have a pen made out of lava, and it feels amazing. It's very kind of tactile and grippy. It is a little bit porous, so you do have to kind of watch it and clean it and take care of it tiny bit differently, but at the same time, it's basically a rock, which means it's more or less indestructible, as they say. I'm not going to test it and drive my car over it, but that's really cool. So I love the whole lava factor going on. The cost. These are not inexpensive pens. So this one on the cheaper end will go for $700 to $800, and then they keep on going. So this one, I actually didn't look it up because I didn't want that to really influence my original review before I figured out I loved it. But this one I would assume goes for over $1,000. So, but yeah, I liked it so much I was able to source from the secondhand market one for myself. So, all right, the filling system. Both a pro and a con. It's a pro because it's really convenient. You can just like pop that off, dip your pen in. You don't have to mess with converters. It takes a lot less mess, I guess I would say. And you have a bigger capacity here. So when you get ink in there, you can carry more ink than you could with an equal size converter pen. So the filling system's really convenient. However, because it's a piston and you can't get in there to clean all the inside components, if there's ever any shimmer that gets past anything, you're going to have, kind of a permanent shimmer in your pen. So because of that, it limits your ink choice. So I would not use any shimmer inks on this pen. So great, awesome filling system, but at the same time, it kind of limits what inks you should, in my opinion, really use. Oh, another one, a really big pro, is the fidget factor. So just like that Jason Neal, where all that weight is concentrated up here, this one spins really nicely in the hand. Let me see if I can zoom out and show you. So this one spins really nicely in hand because of that kind of weight concentration up high. So I do really like this. It's got a great fidget factor as well, which is just kind of a bonus on top of everything else. Here we go. Final thoughts on the Visconti Homo Sapiens. Do I recommend them? Let me say it like this. After reviewing one, I went ahead and tracked down a used one within my budget that I really, really enjoy. Now, these are luxury pens with luxury price tags. So, can I recommend them? If you're just getting into pens, they do have some entry-level, offerings. However, they come with different nibs. It's not the same quality, so that's a review for a different day. I'm talking about the Homo Sapiens. These are not cheap. So if you're just getting into the hobby, I'm going to say don't necessarily look at this, all right? Unless you hit the lottery recently. This is really not the pen for someone who's just getting into the hobby, especially because you need to know what nib size you prefer. This is not the kind of pen that you want to buy and then regret spending that much money on, right? So another thing is the QC. I've heard tales that it's hit or miss. So when you get it, use it. Make sure that you have a properly tuned nib and everything. Mine are both excellent, so no issues here. But speaking of that secondary market, if you are kind of looking for one, these do have a decent resale value, so you can still get one a little bit under what you would pay for normally. So if you do know what you're looking for, you might be able to get lucky with one on the secondary market like I did here with the Bronze Age. I also purposely looked for the palladium nib because they don't make that anymore, and I did like that palladium nib a lot. The fidget factor is also top notch because of the weight concentration up here, so you can spin it around if you're a fidgeter very easily. The clip, I love and I hate it. I love the design, I love the springiness, but it doesn't actually ride onto your pants well unless you kind of utilize that spring. The actual cap itself is fantastic. I love this quarter turn thing going on, less than a quarter turn, and I love the spring tension from that inner seal cap, which also helps, keep it sealed better. So love the cap, love hate the clip, but then again, it is a fashion statement too, right? If you're into fountain pens, those who know. If you see one of these poking out of someone's pants pocket or a breast pocket and a button-down shirt, you know that person is into pens. So again, here we go. Would I recommend it? Is it for everyone? No. At this price point, it's definitely not for everyone. You are a little bit limited with the ink choices due to that piston filling system, but then again, you get way more capacity and a much more convenient system. Again, it's not for everybody, but you know, if you can get one, I got one secondhand for myself because I did enjoy it that much. So take it as you will, you know, that's kind of my thoughts. Is it for everyone? No. Is it for me? Yeah. All right, guys, thank you very much for coming on this journey with me and checking out the Visconti Homo Sapiens. May all your journeys lead to your own personal zen.